Hi, I'm Dr. Caitlin Keller with Unconstipated Kids, and we are going to help you and your child improve their bowel and bladder health. Let's look at hamstring length. So we need pelvic muscular balance. That means that we need all of the muscles that attach onto the hips to be balanced, not one group being too tight or one group being too weak. Very often hamstrings can be tight, especially as kids go through growth spurts. We need appropriate pelvic positioning during toileting. We need their pelvis to be in a good position to allow pelvic floor opening. And so if hamstrings are tight, that might pull them into a what we call a posterior pelvic tilt. Along with hamstring muscular length, if the hamstrings are tight, the surrounding fascia, that white material that you often see on raw chicken, we have that in our muscles as well. And if that's tight, then that can affect the surrounding fascia throughout the pelvis and groin. And that could also affect pelvic muscular tightness. So we want to make sure that we have enough range of motion throughout our hip and pelvis, which is why we're going to look at hamstring length. There is a range of normal with how far your child should be able to touch their toes, reach down their hamstring length. I am a little bit hypermobile, but if your child has bowel and bladder dysfunction, hamstring length can be important. Ragdoll is a yoga position, and it's one of my favorite ways to address hamstring length. So it's a stretch that's within your child's already existing range of motion, and it can be more comfortable than the traditional sit and reach tests that kids do in PE. So your child is going to stand with feet hip width apart, grab their upper arms, bend their knees enough so that their belly can touch their thighs. That is the key here. Belly always stays in contact with the thighs. And then if they can straighten their legs out a little bit more to get more of a stretch through the hamstrings, they can. They can bend their knees as much as they need to keep that belly on thigh contact. And then as they start to stretch more, they can straighten out their legs. Remind your child to keep their upper body relaxed, so wiggling their head side to side, front to back can help them relax their upper body. Soldier walking is an option. It doesn't stretch the muscle fibers quite as well as another static stretch, a stable stretch where they're not moving, but it can be easier to sneak in as an exercise if your child is more active, is really not participating in like a stretch for a minute or two. That can be a long time for a little kiddo. So soldier walking can be a great option. I have another longer video on soldier walking, but here's a brief example. And so they're actively moving through a hamstring stretch through soldier walking. The final option is a self-completed hamstring stretch. So this can be done independently, I would say for kiddos older than 4 or 5 years old. So the benefit of this one is that the floor keeps your pelvis in a good position because it kind of locks it into a neutral position. So you're going to take a blanket, a towel. Some people have those stretching straps, so something non-stretchy. Counterintuitive, right? A stretching strap, but that's a strap that's made of a non-stretch material. Loop it around the end of your child's foot, and then they can pull their leg up into a position that is comfortable for them. And like I said, the floor, it acts as this stabilizer to their pelvis, so they're not able to like round their lower back or tilt their pelvis to kind of compensate or cheat during the stretch. It really just stays on the extensors, all the back muscles of our legs and hips. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you can find us later and help other people find us too.